Looking for Thursday night football, game breakdown, expert injury analysis, and best bets? Well, my friends, you've come to the right place. Welcome, football fans, to another edition of IDP Plus Bets. What is up, folks? I am your host, the DGen Doc, and it's Thursday, so you know what that means. We're talking Thursday night football. That's right, folks. We got a good one. We've got a battle for California. That's right. NFC West divisional rivalry. Always nice to get a nice divisional rivalry game on the primetime slot. Also nice that we've got some playoff implications. Look, it's week 15. Fantasy football playoffs officially started. We got best ball playoffs starting. And it's time for real NFL playoff implications. Look, this is going to be a great game today. We've got the 7-6 Los Angeles Rams heading to the 6-7 San Francisco 49ers. This division has been tight all year. It's been a bit wonky. 49ers coming off that Super Bowl run. Definitely fair to say at this point that the Super Bowl hangover is absolutely real. But I think this is going to be a fun matchup. You have, not too oddly, but, the 7-6 Rams come in as road underdogs. They're catching 2.5 plus 100. They could also be catching plus 3, with some juice a little bit there. So line's kind of fluctuating. San Francisco minus 2.5, minus 120, or minus 3 around plus 100. So that's kind of fluctuating a little bit, but San Francisco is around a 3-point home favorite. Over-under sitting at 48.5 there. I think it's going to be a very, very fun game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think this is going to be two teams that know each other well, and I think we're in for some really good football. So let's start how I always like to start. Let's look at these injuries first because that is going to impact this game. So let's start with the road dogs here, the Los Angeles Rams. Tight end Tyler Higbee is going to be out. He did fully practice this week. They've been kind of getting him back into the flow of things. Thought there was a chance he might be able to play. They're going to hold him out, looks for at least another week. He is coming off an ACL and an MCL tear. It's a major knee ligament injury. It's a major kind of process. I did not expect him to be a huge factor in the game, but they're giving him a good amount of run. So, something to look forward to for next week. I don't think he's going to have anything crazy, but he could have some, 5-catch, 50-yard games. TJ Hawkinson has came back and kind of have some productive weeks. So we'll have to see where the books are putting his number at, but just something to think about. But Tyler Higbee will be out tonight. Another key guy out tonight for the Rams, starting cornerback Kobe Durant, arguably their best cornerback. He has a bruised lung, scary injury. Looks like he's expected to be okay long term, but not something the Rams want to push on a short week, which I think is a really good idea. We saw last year a guy like Jalen Petrie was coughing up blood. We don't want to mess around with these internal organs, these lungs. I mean, Noah Brown, Washington Commanders running back, is dealing with a kidney injury. He's probably going to be out for the season. So not something we want to push. So Kobe Durant is going to be out. Hopefully he is okay moving forward. We do have some guys questionable. Now, look, it's about 6:30 Eastern time, probably in about 15, 30 minutes. We're going to get the inactives and get this to clear up. We've got a pretty good idea where we're at. We got two guys who are questionable for the Rams. You've got left tackle Alaric Jackson. Now, this is the big one. He is a huge piece to this Los Angeles Rams line. He played very well against the Bills last week. He did not practice on Wednesday with a knee injury. Always concerning to have, the day before the game. I mean, usually Wednesday's a walkthrough anyway. So for him to did not practice, that's a bit of a red flag. Now, offensive linemen, they're tough dudes. I don't like ruling them out too early. So there is still a chance he plays. Again, that inactive report's going to be coming out here soon. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But that's a big one. Now, a guy I do expect to play who is questionable, Demarcus Robinson, dealing with a shoulder injury. He landed hard on his shoulder. It looks like an AC joint injury. That is your, acromion clavicular joint. Test is your clavicle to your acromion, which runs off your scapula, off your shoulder there. Common injury, should be minor. Most guys play through it with an injection. Doesn't have a huge effect. Maybe some of these crazy catches as far as getting his hand all the way up there, his arm all the way up there, getting that shoulder jammed up in an awkward position. But again, once he gets that injection, he should be close to 100% there. So I do expect Demarcus Robinson to play. The big one is Alaric Jackson. We got to see what his status is. And then on the 49ers side, on the home team, Trent Williams is out. I mean, he's obviously dealing with some sort of a high ankle sprain, not your traditional low ankle, just, run-of-the-mill ankle sprain. That's a big loss. I mean, Trent Williams, I think, you don't have to be a crazy football fan to know how great of a player he is. Also he was a starting safety, kind of a rotational. Malik Mustafa, he was really filling in for Tailoa Hufanga, who Hufanga is back. Now, you could argue that it would be Hufanga and Mustafa in the starting lineup and not Jair Brown. But Jair Brown is a guy who, a younger guy, second-year guy, who's had a lot of burn. He's had a lot of snaps. So I don't know how huge of a fall-off that is between Mustafa and Jair Brown there, although Mustafa has been playing a little bit better. Now, some guys that are also questionable on the 49ers side. We'll start with the guys I think that have a really good chance of playing. Nick Bosa. Now, he has not practiced. He practiced a limited practice on Wednesday. It's a walkthrough. What does that tell us? It sounds like he's going to test it out pregame, but reports are right now that he's expected to play. Do not expect him to be 100%. He's going to have to battle through some things, but still, even a 75% Nick Bosa is probably better than anybody else they got except for Leonard Floyd. The other guy who's going to come back, activated off IR just a couple hours ago, linebacker Dre Greenlaw. Now, he tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. We are about just exactly 10 months away from when Greenlaw tore his Achilles to right now. This is around, I'd like guys closer to 11 to 12 months until we start having some real confidence in them. He may get some snaps, but do not expect a ton out of Dre Greenlaw tonight. It's his first game off a major injury. I'm sure he's going to be excited playing at home, but this is a little bit rushed. I don't know how many snaps they're going to give him. I doubt any books hanging any type of Dre Greenlaw numbers, but if you're an IDP fan, I would not be throwing him out there in your lineup. This is not someone, look, he's breaking some rust off. Maybe he makes one or two plays, but do not expect a huge normal Dre Greenlaw game tonight. Now, here's the big one for you fantasy football fans and for, the big one's Isaac Guerendo, running back number 3, who's filled in very well with no Christian McCaffrey, no Jordan Mason on the IR. He had a foot sprain. He came coming off a 15 carry, 78-yard, 2-touchdown day. He saved a lot of fantasy teams. I know he helped mine last week, 26 points. He did not practice the first 2 games. Limited practice Wednesday, officially questionable. Adam Schefter put out a report earlier today. He's expected to play. I have some confidence here. This is definitely a risky play, right? This is definitely a bit of a risk here, coming off a foot sprain. But here's the situation. So when he got injured, it was already reported, don't expect him to do much on Monday and Tuesday. Kyle Shanahan said that from the jump. So him not practicing Monday and Tuesday is not really like a big downgrade to me. He did some stuff on Wednesday. We're going to see how he responds. All week, Isaac Guerendo has been saying that he feels good. He feels like he's going to play. Now, of course, every player is going to say they're going to play. He's a guy who's getting a big shot on a national stage. Yes, but X-ray came back inconclusive. They got the MRI, came back negative. The training staff would not allow him to even have a chance to play if there was something really significant on there. So I actually have some confidence in Isaac Guerendo. You're going to see it in my plays here in a second, but I think we're going to get some run. And the 49ers are desperate. They don't have the luxury of being able to, mess around with, maybe we'll get Patrick Taylor in there. Like, they need to win this game. It's a huge game for them if they have any shot at the playoffs. So I am trusting Isaac Guerendo. Again, it will be a risky play, but hey, what's life without a little risk? The other guy who's really questionable is defensive tackle Khalil Davis. He had a limited practice Wednesday. We'll have to see here on the inactive report. All right, how do I see this game going? I've got the 49ers in this one. I think, you look back at history, 49ers have really handled the Rams pretty well at home. They've got the revenge angle of the 49ers and the Rams played earlier this season. The Rams wind up winning. Now, for those that don't remember, and I remember because I had the Rams that game, and I felt very fortunate to walk out of there with a win. So let's take a little bit of a peek back. Now, I know early in the season, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, different. It was week 3, I think. How much can we take away? Well, I know people are going to be like, well, they beat them back earlier in the season, blah, blah, blah. But just look at this win probability here for most of the game, right? I can zoom in here a little bit. So for those that don't remember, this was the game where Joshua Moody came into the game kind of banged up, and he hurt himself very early in the game, or somewhere in the game where the 49ers had to go for it on like 4th and 15. They legitimately could not kick multiple field goals. So that's a huge portion of this game. Jake Moody is healthy. They have an actual kicker. I don't expect him to get injured again mid-game. So it wasn't great that the Rams were able to come back. I mean, look, the 49ers had a 95% chance. They were expected. They were kind of controlling the game the entire time. And when the kicker went out, that is really when things changed. For Rams had this great comeback, yada, yada, yada. So I think the 49ers, they're going to be pissed about that. They need this game. It's the revenge angle. And Brock Purdy, obviously there's a bunch of trends that you could fit to kind of fit your narrative, right? You've got Sean McVay, who's great on Thursday night. Well, so is Brock Purdy, right? I think he's 4-0. He's pretty good against the spread. So I'm not going to throw out a bunch of trends because I think that's a little bit nitpicky, right? But I do think that the 49ers are simply a better team. I think that, yes, Trent Williams being out, that one is tough. That one definitely is what I don't like. But I think Kobe Durant being out for the Los Angeles Rams is almost as big. This is a secondary that is not very good. They're giving up about 225 yards a game. They're a young defense. They're really bad against the run. And that's where I think San Francisco is going to be able to lean on. It's going to get to some of my props. So, yes, I'm on San Francisco -2.5, -3, wherever you're at. I like them both. Obviously, 2.5 has some juice. 3, you get a little bit better money, right? So, they're giving up 141 yards on the ground and 4.7 yards a carry. So, it's not a pure volume thing. I mean, teams are rushing for almost 5 yards a carry against them. Yes, their defensive line is gotten better as far as getting after the quarterback, but still a team that's only got 28 sacks. They've got 28 sacks against them and 28 sacks that they've created on defense. This is not a team that you're really afraid of as far as a pressure rate, right? You also have the 49ers who have only given up 26 sacks, and they have 35 sacks themselves. So I don't expect this Rams defensive line to really game wreck this game. I actually think that despite Trent Williams being out, I think the 49ers are able to get their own here. I think they're able to handle themselves in the run game. I think they're able to control this game. We have the Rams who looked amazing beating the Buffalo Bills. But everything had to go right in that game, and they still only won by 2 points. So, yes, the Rams offense firing on all cylinders. They had a block punt. It seemed like everything went right. A big, huge emotional win over one of the Super Bowl favorites in the Buffalo Bills. But I think reality sets in, and the 49ers are able to control this game. This Rams team has been an up and down team all year. They're not a team where I watch that one game and I'm automatically brought back in. We saw it against the Miami Dolphins on a primetime game where everything was set up right. They had all the momentum and they just kind of fell flat. And I think this is a situation where the Rams do fall flat. So give me the 49ers here. This was a tough game. I definitely kind of was wavering back and forth, but I will side with the home team there. And let's get to the props. Props are pretty simple for me today. Usually I like to pop around, spray around the board. I'm going pretty simplistic today. I talked about Isaac Guerendo. I have faith in Isaac Guerendo. I understand it's a risky play, right? So, hey, hand up. I understand it's a risky play. However, I think we're getting a nice price because of it. I'm going Guerendo over 16.5 rush yards at -110. I'm going over his rush attempts at over 14.5 at -115. That's kind of my floor, right? That's where most of my units are going. But I am laddering him. I think this is a potential where when he pops, Isaac Guerendo pops. In the games where he's had double-digit carries, I think last week was his lowest total with 78 yards, and he left the game there, obviously, before it finished when he went out with the injury, right? So let's look at his game log real quick. So when he had 10 carries against Seattle, 99 yards, 14 carries against Dallas, 85 yards, and 15 carries against the Bears, 78 yards. And he was averaging over 5 yards a carry each game. Like, this guy's got some pop. I understand he's an RB3, but coming out of Louisville, he is a guy who's explosive. He's a burner. If he sees a hole, he can take it. And I think he's really fit well for this run zone blocking scheme there that San Francisco done. So I'm taking his line. 80-plus yards at +240, 90-plus yards at 4-1, 100-plus yards at 6-1. If you want to keep going, whatever, that's where I'll probably stop my ladder. I also like, 20-plus rush attempts at I had it at 5-1 at one of the books that I was looking at there. So I really am taking, the 49ers, this is their last chance. They need this game to have a realistic shot at the playoffs at the NFC West. You can't let a little bit of a foot injury stop you. If you think Guerendo gives you the best chance, Kyle Shanahan is going to give him the ball. So I'm pretty heavy on Guerendo. I also like Brock Purdy, pass and rush yards. He threw for almost 300 yards against him last time he played, and he ran for 40 yards. He's a guy that, especially in prime time, when he needs to get it, he will use his legs. So, excuse me. I obviously like, his pass yards. I like his rush yards. So if you like one better, go ahead and take that. I'm going to go ahead and do the combo. 278.5 yards. I think between his legs and his arms, he gets close to 300 yards there. One defensive play I'll give out, because you guys know I love to give out defensive plays. We're going to go Fred Warner under 3.5 solo tackles at plus 125. Yes, when I saw this number, I thought it was low too. Yes, I was actually thinking that I was going to be betting on Fred Warner to have tackles, right? He leads the team in tackles with, I think, 91 on the year. But ever since he announced he's playing through an ankle injury, I think he's playing through like a fractured ankle or something like that. In the last 4 weeks, he has not gone over 3.5 solo tackles. He's had 1, 3, 3, and 1. He really hasn't had many tackles at all. He's had 3 total, 6 total, 4 total, and 3 total tackles. So he's clearly hobbled. I mean, hey, shout out to him for being a warrior and playing through it, but this is not the same Fred Warner we're used to. So I think his opportunity under 3.5 solo tackles, plus 125, I think we're getting a good price on it. And the one Rams play I will say, because I like the price, Demarcus Robinson, anytime touchdown, plus 350. He's hit this in 2 out of the last 3 games. He leads the team with 7 reception touchdowns. I know what you're saying. Okay, yeah, well, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp missed time. I just said last 2 out of the 3 games, right? Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp have been playing. He really likes him around. Stafford likes Robinson in the end zone, or in the red zone, excuse me. So I like Demarcus Robinson to score a touchdown there. So that's how I'm on. I'm on 49ers, minus 2.5. I'm a big Garendo fan tonight. I think Brock Purdy has himself with the A. I'm going to be fading Fred Warner a little bit. And my bring back for the Los Angeles Rams is DeMarcus Robinson, anytime touchdown, plus 350. All right, folks, that is it. We got this game kicking off here. Math is hard. About an hour and a half? So hope you, hope you enjoy the picks. Hope you enjoy the show. If you do, appreciate you with any likes, subscribe. We are a new channel. Always trying new things. We love any feedback. And if you want to hear me talk more about Week 15, later tonight, I will be recording my best bets episode every week. Give out 6 of my favorite prop bets for the week for the Sunday and Monday games. So we've been on a bit of a heater. Definitely hope you, if you want to, go check that out. All right, 17 minutes. Clearly, it's time for me to get out of here. I hope you guys have a wonderful game. Because I have to say this before I get out of here. It's Go Army. Beat Navy Week. Let's go. Shout out to West Point and the Cadets. Amazing season. I hope they beat the tar out of the Navy Seamen. All right, folks. From the DGen Doc at IDP Plus, I am out of here.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.